Good morning, I'm Praram Vadahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Lack of trust between the ruling alliance posing as the obstacle for much touted party unification. Maoist ministers raise objection to Premier Oli's modus operandi. Health insurance program initiated by the government reaches 33 districts. People from remote areas not able to reap benefit. FBI raids the offices of US President Donald Trump's personal lawyer. Trump says the raid was a disgrace and attack on the country. And Kathmandu Goldens and Team Chaura Dhangadi go head-to-head in the qualifier for a spot in the grand finale of the Dhangadi Premier League. Let us now begin with some latest national political updates. The Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority (CIAA) has arrested Buranilkantha Chief Administrative Officer Leela Adhikari and engineer Bijendra Shrestha in possession of 500,000 rupees in bribe. The CIAA arrested both of them in Maharajganj immediately after engineer Shrestha handed Adhikari the cash which had been collected from a contractor. According to the anti-graft body, Adhikari had demanded 7% commission for providing the contract for the construction of a reserve tank for a fire brigade at 12.1 million rupees. However, Adhikari had denied providing the contract letter as the contracting company had not made the 7% payment. The letter was, however, confiscated from Adhikari's bag. The CIA had followed engineer Shrestha right from the restaurant in Maharajganj, where he had received the commission amount. It has informed that the Chief Administrative Officer was arrested from a vehicle. 500,000 rupees in cash and the letter were both confiscated from Adhikari. Now, CPN-UML and CPN Maoist Centre have made preparations for party unification on the 22nd of April. However, confidence is gradually declining among these two parties regarding power sharing. The question that arises at the moment is whether the lack of trust between these parties will pose as the obstacle for unification. The CPN Maoist Centre has objected to the recent government decision, citing that Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli did not inform the ruling alliance prior to taking the transfer decision of secretaries. The ministers representing CPN Maoist Centre in the government also drew the attention of their chairman Pushpakamal Dahal in this regard earlier yesterday. Maoist ministers were outraged by the modus operandi of Prime Minister Oli as they said that they were not informed prior to the decision making. It wasn't just the transfer of the secretaries. The Maoist faction is also objecting to the way the Prime Minister had briefed the representatives of diplomatic missions 2 weeks ago without informing the Maoist ministers. Likewise, the Maoist ministers have also complained against Premier Oli's alleged interference in the ministries headed by Maoist representatives. The lack of understanding on unification remains to be minimized between these two parties. Political analysts say the ongoing mistrust has cast a serious doubt over the much-touted unification between the two parties. CPN-UML is now concerned as CPN Maoist Centre Chairman Pushpakamal Dahal has lately remained firm in the demand of unification with equal power sharing. Having forged a 60-40% alliance during the election, the two parties had agreed on a 70-30 equation at the National Assembly. Despite the submission of a report by the Statute and Political Committee formed for the unification, the parties are yet to decide on the unification symbol, inclusion of the term People's War and basis for representation in the unified party. Political analysts are of the opinion that power sharing has become complicated as the unification procedure has completely ignored philosophy and principles. The health insurance program started by the government 2 years ago from Kailali has now reached 33 districts. But people living in remote areas and those deprived of facilities have not been able to benefit from the program. Crowds of patients can be seen lining up at the Sethi Zonal Hospital every day. Many of these patients are deprived of the benefits assured by the health insurance program. Similar is the fate of the patients at 4 other hospitals in Kailali. The health insurance program was initiated by the government, saying if a family of 5 deposits 2,500 rupees annually, they can receive free health services worth up to 50,000 rupees. Showing faith in the program, 24,705 people in Kailali signed up for the health insurance program. But they feel that they have been cheated since they have not received services to their expectation. In those 33 districts where the government initiated the health insurance program, over 610,000 people have joined it. Out of those people, only a little over 108,000 have taken advantage of the program. According to the Health Insurance Board, the government has already collected over 334 million rupees, out of which over 218 million rupees have already been given to the hospitals. People living in places where hospitals have good health equipment and skilled healthcare providers have been benefiting from the program. In Ilam, out of the 36,500 people who signed up for the health insurance, 30,405 have taken advantage of the health services provided. It seems that the health insurance program has been effective only for people living in cities and places with good facilities. Yesterday, we asked the locals in Udaipur, Janakpur and Pokhara regarding what they think about the trend of depending on the directive of the ministers or the Prime Minister for implementation of tasks of any magnitude. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
माथिबाट निर्देशन दिनुपर्छ निर्देशन दियो भने उहाँले काम गर्नुहुन्छ तुरु रातारात चेन्ज गर्नुहुन्छ 2 मिनेटमा 1 सेकेन्डमा उहाँले के गर्नुहुन्छ
ठुला नेताहरूले भनेको भरमा काम गरिदिनु पाए म उनीहरुसँग नजिउँथे भन्ने यो चाहना कर्मचारीहरुमा तीव्र देखिन्छ
आधिकारिक मान्छेहरुले चाहिँ कसरी गर्ने भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ आफ्नो क्षेत्रभित्र चाहिँ राम्ररी बुझेर काम गर्दिने भए त्यस्तो समस्या आउने थिएन होला
गाउँ गाउँमा चाहिँ शक्ति गएको छ भनिएको छ तर पनि मन्त्रीको सोर्स नभइकन एउटा खाल्टो समेत पुर्न नसकिने कुरो यो बडो विडम्बना पूर्वक छ
वाडा अध्यक्ष सदस्य मेरो उपमेयरको ले गर्दा हुने कुरा हो यो मन्त्रीलाई गर्नुपर्ने कुराहरू होइन
अनुशासनहीन भेले सभ्यताहीन भेले
It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, what is your take on the objection of Maoist ministers regarding the transfer of secretaries? Your options are A. Anomalies in the coalition, B. Not understanding previous procedures, and C. Prime Minister's arbitrary behavior. The voting is on. You can type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and then send it to 8080 to share your opinion with us. It is now time for some international news. US President Donald Trump says the FBI's raid on the offices of his personal lawyer was a disgrace and an attack on the country. After yesterday's raid, his lawyer said officials in New York seized privileged communications between Michael Cohen and his clients. Documents regarding a payment to a porn actress were also seized during the raid. Law enforcement acted on a referral from Special Counsel Robert Mueller, who is investigating suspected Russian meddling in the 2016 election. Trump criticized the investigation and described Mueller's team as the most biased group of people. Cohen has come under increasing public scrutiny since he admitted to making a $130,000 payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels, whose real name is Tiffany Clifford, just days before the 2016 presidential election. At least 29 people, most of them children, have died after a school bus fell into a gorge in a mountainous region of India. Police said most of the passengers were below the age of 10. The bus driver and the 2 teachers were also killed in the accident yesterday evening. The incident occurred in the northern state of Himachal Pradesh. Road accidents are common in India, often due to poor driving or badly maintained roads and vehicles. Yesterday's accident, which occurred about 325 kilometers from the state capital Shimla, involved a bus transporting some 40 students from Wazir Ram Singh Pathania Memorial School in Nurpur in the country's Kangra district. Nepal Stock Exchange NEPSE lost 6 points to close at 1,287.78 points at the end of the midweek trading day yesterday. Breaking the bearish trend, the share market had gained an impressive 44 points on Sunday. As Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's India visit was dubbed largely successful, the share market had responded with 44.6 points gain on Sunday. The share market had opened on a positive note yesterday as well, but by the end of the day, it lost 6 points. The hotel groups were the biggest losers, going down by 36 points. The transaction of other groups witnessed a 3-point increase. NEPSE stated that shares amounting to just under 950 million rupees were transacted yesterday. With this, we move on to some sports news.
Sports news.
Kathmandu Goldens and Team Chaura Dhangadi go head-to-head this morning in the qualifier for a spot in the grand finale of the Dhangadi Premier League DPL. The only unbeaten side of the tournament, Kathmandu Goldens will secure their spot in the title decider if they register a win against the home side today. However, a win for the defending champions Chauraha would qualify them to the finals of the Thangadi Premier League for the second successive season. Kathmandu had seen off Chauraha by 7 wickets in the league round of the tournament. Today's match will be a golden opportunity for Chauraha to avenge that loss as well. In the previous edition, these two sides had faced each other twice, and in both the matches, Kathmandu Goldens had ended up as the losing side. Skipper Paras Khadka was instrumental in the loss for Kathmandu last season. Chauraha had seen off Kathmandu by 11 runs in the first match and registered a 6-wicket win in the eliminator round. The side that loses today will have another opportunity to progress to the finals of the tournament. Today's losing team will clash with the winning team of the eliminator round between Mahendranagar United and CYC Atharia. The eliminator round match between Mahendranagar and CYC Atharia is also slated for today. The Thangadi Premier League DPL has reached the playoff round. Foreign players have performed well in comparison to her home players. Some of the domestic players who were bought at the highest bid amount of 150,000 rupees to have failed to deliver. The list of cricketers who have had a dismal outing in the ongoing DPL is led by Sagar Pun. The former opener from the national team was battling a poor form and could only manage 84 runs from 5 matches with the highest score of 33 runs. Considered a batting all-rounder, Pun, bought for 150,000 rupees by Rupandei Challengers, could only claim 3 wickets. The second in the list of failed starts is paceman Karan Casey, dubbed as the fastest bowler in Nepalese cricket. Interestingly, Karan had shot into limelight with his big hitting in the recently held World Cup qualifiers. Representing Mahendranagar United, Karan has just a wicket to show and 1 run to his name. The only good thing for Karan is that his team will be featuring in the DPL qualifiers. Likewise, Mahendranagar United had also bought Arif Sheikh, spending a lucrative amount. Sheikh's performance in the league matches was disappointing, collecting 24 runs from 3 matches. Meanwhile, star spinner of the Nepalese national team, Basant Regmi, too failed to create an impact. Regmi only claimed 4 wickets as his team bowed out of the tournament. Contrary to home players, the foreign recruits representing various teams have stolen the limelight at the DPL so far. Babar Hayat leads the list of top scorers with 186 runs. Rupandei's Pradeep Aire is in the second place with 156 runs, while Kathmandu Goldens' Gyanendra Malla has found his touch with 155 runs in the third place. Thangadi's Sunil Dhamala and Kathmandu's Amit Shrestha are the other players who have done well with the bat in the ongoing tournament. That is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will air at 11 this morning. Keep watching Kantipur Television SD for more news and entertainment. Have a great day ahead.